You are a naked ape. Not metaphorically, literally, biologically, embarrassingly naked. Every other great ape is covered in thick insulating fur. And then there is you. No coat, no insulation, no plan. And the strangest part is, nobody decided this. It was an accident. A chain of small pressures that nobody saw coming, compounding over 2 million years. So here's the question. What if that accident had never happened? What if Homo sapiens had kept its fur? The answer breaks at least 5 things you think you understand about the modern world. Let's start with why it happened in the first place. 2.5 million years ago, the African climate dried out. Forests shrank, open grassland appeared. Our ancestors stepped out of the shade and into direct equatorial sun. Under that sun, fur is not a coat. It is an oven. Core temperature rises, muscles stop working, brain starts to cook. So the ones who shed a little faster cooled down a little faster, and they had more children. That is literally all evolution is. No plan, no preference for naked. Just survive, reproduce, repeat. Over about 1 million years, the fur just went. But here is the thing nobody mentions. That pressure only existed because we happened to move to the open savanna. If the forest had not dried out, that fork never appears. No savanna. No heat pressure, no reason to shed. Humans stay furry. Now, what does that actually mean? First, thermoregulation collapses completely. Modern humans have roughly 2 to 4 million sweat glands. Gorillas have fewer than 200,000. That gap exists because we lost the fur. Sweat cools naked skin. It cannot cool fur. A furry human ancestor sweating as hard as you do would be wet, matted, and still overheating. So, in a fur-retained world, our ancestors could not persistence hunt. Persistence hunting, running prey to exhaustion over hours, only works if you cool better than the animal. Furry humans cannot do that, which means the protein surplus that fueled brain growth probably never happens. Let that sit for a second. Losing fur might be directly connected to gaining the brain that builds cities. One accidental climate shift, one cascading chain, one city. Now let's talk about what fur retention actually does to your body. Dense body hair is a parasite hotel. Lice, ticks, botflies. Chimpanzees spend up to 20% of their waking hours grooming parasites out of each other. That is not bonding, that is pest control. In a furry human world, every social interaction carries this overhead. Meetings, negotiations, family dinners, all of them also pest control. Now here is where it gets genuinely dark. We know from DNA analysis that human pubic lice jumped species from gorillas. Gorilla lice, on humans, let that land. They could only jump because our body hair had already thinned, creating an ecological gap. In a fully furry world, no gap, no jump, different parasite ecology entirely, completely different disease burden on early human populations, which means different immune systems, different immune histories, different civilizations. We are not even at the weird part yet. Think about clothing. Clothing, archaeologists believe, was invented roughly 100,000 years ago. The best evidence, body lice, which only live in clothing, diverged from head lice at exactly that point. Clothing only makes sense if you are cold because you are naked. Furry humans do not need clothing, which means the entire textile industry does not exist. The Industrial Revolution, which was substantially a textile revolution, looks completely different. Cotton, wool, silk, trade routes built entirely around them. The Silk Road, gone. The host pauses, stares. One climate accident takes out the Silk Road. Now think about social signaling. Human skin is the most expressive signaling surface in the animal kingdom. We blush. We pale. We flush with embarrassment or rage. These signals are involuntary, which means they are honest. Fur hides all of it. In a furry world, humans cannot read embarrassment or deception on each other's faces, which changes the entire architecture of trust. Social contracts, laws, courtroom evidence, all of them, at their root, built on the ability to read involuntary human signals. Remove the naked skin, wobble the whole pyramid. Let's go further. Nakedness changed how humans related to water. Wet fur is extraordinarily heavy. It weighs an animal down and drops its core temperature fast. Furry early humans probably avoid rivers and coastlines much more than we did, which means the aquatic resources, shellfish, fish, coastal settlements, less accessible. The aquatic diet theory suggests coastal eating delivered the omega-3 surge that accelerated brain growth. Take away coastal access, take away that fuel. We keep returning to the same answer. A furry human species probably has a brain somewhere between ours and a chimpanzee's. Smart enough to use tools. Probably not smart enough to build the internet, or write laws, or compose symphonies, or for that matter, make this video. Now, there is one furry world scenario that is genuinely better. UV radiation, melanoma, sunburn, DNA damage from solar radiation. Fur is actually very good at blocking UV. Furry humans probably have a far lower rate of skin cancer. That is a real benefit, but it would not save you from the heat, the parasites, the smaller brain, or the complete absence of the Silk Road. The net is deeply, humiliatingly, unfavorably negative for fur retention. You are naked because the forest dried out. That is the whole story. No intention, no design. Just a climate accident and 2 million years of consequences. And this is the thing about evolutionary what-ifs. The mechanism is always embarrassingly small. A drought, a degree or two of temperature change, a forest shrinks slightly. And somehow that produces cities, symphonies, courtrooms, and the internet. Nobody planned it. Nobody approved it. It just happened. Tonight, when you're cold, remember, you chose this. Subscribe to Loophole for more accidents that made you